Over a month ago, Good Morning Britain arrived here after a 5-year hiatus to interview the current British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, right here at Downing Street. So excited were Good Morning Britain that they even trailed this and made a very special promo feature. And then of course the interview unfolded live on air with its lead presenter, former Strictly star Susanna Reid, a respected journalist herself, heading the forefront. And what was interesting was, of course, Susanna was doing incredibly well. This was a live interview. It kept being put back, of course, because the British Prime Minister is incredibly busy. And we knew the topics would be, no doubt, Partygate and certain things that he'd said in the past, etc., etc. But then, of course, Good Morning Britain, or GMB as it's known, decided to pull this out of the hat without any warning, according to the Number 10 press office. Remember Elsie? Elsie is the woman apparently who had to ride up and down on a bus to keep warm because she couldn't afford to heat her own home. That's how bad the cost of living crisis had got. And of course Susanna Reid was so excited that she told her viewers via social media about her market share and how many people had watched that particular interview, including the segment about the elusive Elsie. So where's Elsie gone now? What's interesting about this particular story regarding Elsie is normally a TV show like Good Morning Britain would have done a follow-up, to see how she's faring with all the media attention that they brought to her door. But the other side of the coin, as I've mentioned before, is that Elsie appears to be something of an opposition activist and apparently just lives round the corner from here, 10 Downing Street. So a lot of confusion. Now, even the press office here at Number 10 Downing Street, as I've stated, have tried to reach out to Elsie because, of course, the current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, would very much like to hear her story and, of course, do what he can to help, naturally. But even I've put in calls to Good Morning Britain and the ITV news desks to no avail. Nobody seems to know where Elsie has gone. Now, this particular story was brought to the public of the United Kingdom just on the eve of a very important local election. So you can see how some people may have said, well, exactly where did this woman come from and where did she disappear to? Now, I've reached out to the main presenter, Susanna Reid, on social media. In fact, most of the people who work for Good Morning Britain. But seemingly, nobody wants to top up and see exactly what happened to Elsie. Is she fine? Is she still stuck on the bus? Has anybody bothered to check in with her? Now, what one could surmise is that they thought this was a particularly good story, and now looking further down the line, it would appear that Good Morning Britain have decided to park it. It's no interest to them now. Was Elsie simply used? And as ever, we have to say allegedly. Those people wondering how does the mainstream media work? If you think about it, one of the most respected and revered, allegedly, broadcasters came here to Number 10 Downing Street with a live film crew to present to the Prime Minister a particularly harrowing story about an electorate. So, if it was that vital and that important, why haven't they done a follow-up? Now, it's not for me to suggest that this could of course be something rather scurrilous. Or is it the fact that this particular story wasn't so true after all? As I've said before, if it was true, where is the follow-up? So once again, live from Downing Street, just as Susanna Reid was, we reach out to Good Morning Britain and anybody associated with Elsie and say, please do follow up. The public need to know. And more importantly, they need to know the truth. Neil Sean, 10 Downing Street, London.